We started this back on March the 21st of 1981, actually down at the old Pekin Mall. We had a race car show down there, and we put together a book and had people sign up of, do you think it would be a great thing to honor the old great drivers from the Peoria area? And we had so many people sign up, it was unreal. And what's really unreal now, 30 years ago, 2/3 of the people that signed my book are gone. Over here's all of our old pictures of some of the greatest drivers you've ever seen. They raced out at the old Mount Holly Speedway. They not only raced there, they raced all over central Illinois at the various tracks. They came from all over to race here. When we first started doing all that stuff down at the Speedway, we were young. And today, we're the new class of old timers. We're already there. But if we don't keep this thing together, these guys are going to be forgotten about. Some awards I want to hand out tonight. Since 1997, when we started the inductions of the Peoria Oldtimers Racing Club Hall of Fame, the first year I put in 50 people. And they were mainly drivers and owners and the first couple promoters we had at the Speedway, and they were great people. They knew what it was all about, and they knew how to run a racetrack and promote a show and take care of the people. And not everything was rosy back then, but you know, they worked it out. Right now, there's about 150 people in the Oldtimers Hall of Fame. And before that, I got another special friend that's here tonight. I don't know if you've all heard of track chasing or know what it is. Track chasing is when you go to the racetrack and watch races. But there's a track chasing like club on the internet. It's a competition. We got a listing of every track you've been to, how many you've been to, when it was, where it was. We've got the #1 track chaser in the whole world with us tonight. He flew in especially from San Clemente, California. He's originally from East Peoria. He enjoyed the races out at the old Mount Holly Speedway back in 1995. Randy Lewis is with us tonight. Thank you, Randy, for coming. Randy's favorite racetrack, always has been, I think always will be, the Peoria Speedway. And on his website, he says that. He says it just like it is on there. He puts a column on there, and after he goes to a race, he goes to, or he puts on there just what he thinks of the racetrack, how it was, and goes way beyond that. I'm going to have Randy here in just a minute to explain some stuff to you. Randy brought his family with him tonight also. Kyle Ely is with us tonight. Kyle, stand up. Raise your hand there. I can't. There he is. Kyle is all the way from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and came just for this event. That's the 175 miles, I think it is, from Cedar Rapids to come here. Well, Randy, come on up here. Let's get you right now. Okay, Kyle, you come back up here. Everybody welcome Randy Lewis. And of course, I wanted Randy to be here because on his website, it says, my favorite track always has been the Peoria Speedway. Always has great compliments, but a few years ago, Randy was here, and that was the first time I ever met Randy and talked to him. And I think that's when actually you first started up your website. And one night I went on his website, and he put on there, my favorite racetrack announcer is Scott Schultz at Peoria Speedway, and I thought, my head swelled up so big. I seen that, and that was the neatest thing I think I've ever seen. But you know what? I believe this guy because when I talked to him, I could tell he was real. And I've been following him now for 4 years or so, and I read everything that he writes. And believe me, he writes a lot on his websites because he travels around the world. And you just tell everybody where you've been, Randy, just recently.
I'll just say this to begin with. I'm originally from East Peoria, and I started following Peoria Speedway back in the Mount Holly days, probably in about 1955. I was lucky enough to grow up on a street that had about 10 houses. The Allen brothers were 2 doors down from me with car number 16, go all the way back to the days of Earl Boken and Les Peterson, Jim Struby. Don Dabney had a stock car on my street, car number 133, a Ford. My dad worked at Jim Penn Texaco on Knoxville, and we had a car number 218, a 54 Mercury. And so we had 3 cars on our street. As a matter of fact, there's a guy by the name of Larry Yard, who was the initial developer of the National Speedway Directory, if you guys have ever seen that little book that lists all the tracks. So anyway, I've got a long history with the Peoria Speedway. After I went to college, I started transferring around with my company, and it would allow me to see races all over the country. We'd have a meeting, and I'd stay another day or two and see a track here and there. And I thought if I could get maybe 300 or 400 tracks and tell somebody I'd been to 400 tracks, they might think that was pretty impressive. Now I've been to 1,725 different racetracks in all 50 states. I've seen racing now in 56 countries. About 2 weeks ago, I was in Uruguay for a race. I saw the Singapore Grand Prix earlier this year. And everywhere I go, I tell people when they ask me, I get a lot of questions, and one of the questions that's the most frequent, I guess, is what's your favorite speedway? And I always answer the Peoria Speedway. Now when you're in Singapore or Uruguay or even somewhere up in upstate Maine, a lot of times they don't really know what Peoria Speedway, where that's located. But if they did, I think they would think that the racing's really good. Like I said, I've had a chance to talk to a lot of the people that were my heroes when I was a kid, and that's been wonderful. So anyway, we're really glad to be here from San Clemente, California. I'll come back to Peoria as often as I can, and whatever I do, I'll try to see some racing at the Peoria Speedway.
Woo!
Thank you, Randy. Randy, we really appreciate you coming. And you know, when I contacted Randy about this induction deal, it's so cool what you're doing, and I wish I could do that. You know, you've been to a lot more racetracks than I've been to, you know. But I asked Randy, I said, we would like to induct you into the Peoria Oldtimers Racing Club because it's your favorite track, Peoria, as ours, you know. And I said, I don't believe anybody has ever bestowed a honor on you like that. I know you've done a lot of interviews and stuff, TV, radio, newspaper, but that's just everyday stuff. Before somebody grabbed you, we wanted to be first. We wanted the credit and say we honored one of our racing fans. And that means a lot to us, you know, that you go around the world telling everybody about Peoria. That's a cool thing, man. You're one of our new old timers, just like we are now. And, you know, we're so glad you came and accepted this honor that we could bestow on you. On our plaque here, okay, you can read out that, can't you? Can you read that?
Peoria Oldtimers Racing Club Hall of Fame inductee for 2011, Mr. Randy Lewis.
Yeah, you get a picture first.
Congratulations, too. That's really wonderful.
Randy, thank you very much. You're going to stick around because we want to talk to you off the record here. Thank you, Randy. Give Randy a big round of applause. It's fun to bring somebody into our old timers that deserves it. And Kathy, Jean, would you present that little plaque there to Larry? Congratulations, you're on the Wall of Fame now. Our next inductee from Pekin, Illinois. There you go. He started out racing about the last year, I think the last year or two, out at the old Mount Holly Speedway, and raced down here at the Speedway when they moved it to Farmington Road. Clyde Daggett from down in Pekin went and bought a NASCAR Grand National stock car. I think it was 1974. And he went and entered a couple of NASCAR races with the big boys. Back then it was pretty tough. Clyde was an independent, little guy from Pekin. There's been a lot of guys from Peoria, probably about, I think, 10 or 12 that actually drove in a NASCAR race that raced at Peoria Speedway. One of them was Johnny Beaucamp. He's a point champ down at the Peoria Speedway in 1966. Herb Shannon drove NASCAR, Jerry Rodell drove NASCAR, Al Terrell drove NASCAR, Art Brady drove NASCAR. All the Peoria drivers that drove NASCAR. There wasn't that many, like I said, under a dozen. NASCAR. Clyde Daggett has the best finish. Clyde Daggett from Pekin, Illinois. Come here, Clyde. You're next to Kathy Jean there, if you would. Give Clyde Daggett a big round of applause. He doesn't know why we're giving him this award tonight. This guy has been my friend for 40-something years. A lot of you know him. He was famous over in the Bloomington Normal area as the Pizza Man. I'm talking about Jim Tobin. Jim raced down at the Peoria Speedway back in the early 70s. He started in the amateur division. Jim got Rookie of the Year in the late model division.
Just handle that car like a nice set of boobs, real gentle. To this day, every time I see him, I just love it. That was Herb's advice. That was Herb's advice to me to drive smooth.
I want to present Freddie's medal to the family.